With Jude Bellingham being out after finally getting his shoulder surgery done, Real Madrid find themselves with a little bit of a problem. They have to somehow fill in a hole and a gap in the team that was filled by Jude Bellingham. And that's not going to be any easy task, because Jude Bellingham's influence and what he provides to Real Madrid when he is available and when he is playing cannot be understated in any way. Like, I genuinely cannot even start to go off on how important this guy is for our team, for our midfield, and specifically our link and our connection between our midfield and attack. A lot of the times, the reason our midfield and attack link up together or work as well as it does is because Jude is somehow involved. Whether that's the positioning he takes, whether that's the run he makes, or whether that's the pass he's playing. Jude Bellingham contributes a lot. But there are a few ways that Real Madrid can fill the hole left by the vacant Englishman. I have 3 lineups set, but I personally, and I'm pretty sure every single Madridista knows this already, it's very, very clear and very, very likely that we will be playing some sort of 5-back or 3-back, whatever you want to call it. I'm going to call it 5-back. Everybody knows Xabi Alonso favours the 5-back formation, and that's what he likes to play. So I think it is pretty clear that this is the formation we will be using, but Xabi Alonso's a tactical manager. He might see something in the team, or he might notice something in the players, or he might change his whole idea and ideology and the plan he had because something else clicks or something else works, or as a few things develop. I don't know. Things can change. But right now, based on what we know from him, based on what we saw at the Club World Cup, I believe and I'm pretty sure this is what we will be using. And this is how I think we will set up in the 5-back. I think Vini and Mbappe, I don't want to talk about them more than beyond this point, because I could speak about these two for hours. I could generally speak about these two and the fact that they don't work together for hours, but they're a mainstay in every single formation. So let me real quick, very, very simply say that if Vini and Mbappe can figure it out, whether that's between themselves, whether that's because of the system, or whether that's because of Xabi Alonso, if they can figure it out, we have got the best attacking duo in world football. There is no other attacking duo in world football that comes anywhere near ability, quality, and threat that these two have and provide. No one. By themselves, okay, yes, you can argue. There's Haaland's, there's Julian Alvarez's, there's Lamine Yamal's. There's loads of great players individually. But as a duo, in one team, in one attack, for club, there's not many that come anywhere near these two. But they need to figure it out. They need to figure it out. And if they do, we are in for a world of a treat. We are in for an absolute heck of a time. We are in for an absolute heck of a time. We will have the time of our lives watching these two go off. Moving on to the defence and midfield. In the defence, I don't think there will really be any changes to what we saw at the Club World Cup. The only real change will be Alvaro Carreras in for Fran Garcia. In midfield, on the other hand, midfielder, Arda Guler and Fede Valverde, first of all, they are mainstays. They, similar to Mbappe and Vini, they are mainstays. Fede, I don't even need to say anything. Everyone knows, no matter what formation, system or team we play, Fede Valverde will find a position on that pitch because he is that good and offers that much. So no need to say any more about Fede. Arda, I don't think Xabi Alonso talks as highly about Arda Guler, and I don't think Arda Guler performs as well as he does at the Club World Cup, and I don't think they both talk about how good and how amazing and how the future of his position is central midfield without him being a starter and without him being that guy in midfield. So I think just based on everything we saw and heard, he is going to be one of the first names on the team sheet. As for the vacated position itself in the starting 11, I think that's where Edu comes in. I think Camavinga is that man to take that spot. This guy is one of the most unorthodox players I've ever seen. Like, when I see him play and he gets the ball, he can do two things. He can either get his head up and ping it 40 or 50 yards, or he can just run through the whole pitch. He can run from our defence, where he's picked the ball up, all the way straight through the midfield of the opposition team, straight into their defence by himself. He's got the speed, he's got the power, he is phenomenal. The only real changes or differences I could see being made is if Militao, if he comes back and is ahead of schedule in his preparation and getting game ready and all that stuff, if he's there ahead of schedule, then the only difference I can see is maybe if he comes in and Tchouaméni gets pushed forward. That's the only way I don't see Camavinga being in. But I think Eder Militao is a long way from being ready to play for Real Madrid. The guy not only needs game time, he also needs training sessions and time to get back to 100%. Because we rushed him back once and it was catastrophic and he lost the other knee. And also, even when he does come back, who's to say he's going to replace Camavinga in the starting 11 and Tchouaméni is going to push forward? For all we know, he might replace Rudiger in the starting 11 and Tchouaméni holds his position and Camavinga stays in his position. Moving on to the 4-3-3, this is how I think the team will look. And while I was doing this, I was thinking of two formations besides the 5-3-2. I was thinking of two other formations, the 4-3-3 and the 4-4-2. But I've just realised I can kind of talk about them both together. But also, another key point that has just hit me is this man. It's Tchouaméni. Tchouaméni was playing as the middle centre-back in the 5-3-2 during the Club World Cup because of what he offers, because of his game IQ. I made a whole video on it, and because of his understanding of the game and what Xabi Alonso wants from his team. But what I just remembered and realised is that Real Madrid didn't really have centre-back options at the Club World Cup. So you're in a position and a situation where you have a problem. If you're Xabi Alonso, let's pretend you're Xabi Alonso. You want to test out your team in your most favoured formation, in the formation you had the most success with in your previous team by Leverkusen, but you can't because you're missing centre-backs. What do? You drop the midfielder who spent a large part of last season, if he wants to move, the midfielder who spent a large part of last season as centre-back, into centre-back, and test your team out in the system you want by making that sacrifice. But now with Eder Militao hopefully back again, I don't think Eder's ready. I don't think he will be back in time. But if I'm wrong, if it is a matter of it is the early season, nothing is on the line right now, no one is winning a trophy in September, now is the perfect time to give this guy game time and slowly build him up. If that's the case, then an argument can be made that Tchouaméni might not be playing centre-back in the 5-back. He might be back in midfield. So the 5-back formation we just had a second ago wouldn't be Tchouaméni in the middle centre-back. It would be him in the middle with Fede Valverde and Arda Guler. And then how that applies to the 4-3-3 and the 4-4-2 is the same thing. We could have this midfield and attack and defense with either Rudiger or Eder Militao. If Eder Militao's back, I do think just because of his on-the-ball ability, he might be ahead of Rudiger. But we'll have to see, because when Rudiger plays and he's 100%, he is phenomenal. I'm not counting last year again because of the 7 months he was playing with injury. But the year before, he was phenomenal. He was so solid at the back. So it is really a toss-up between him and Eder Militao. I think Huijsen is that good, both on the ball and defensively, that he will be playing. So them two will be vying it for the next spot. In regards to the rest of the team, I do think we'll see a Fede Valverde right wing instead of a Rodrigo. I do. I can't really explain why. It's more just a sense of everything we've seen, everything we know. Fede will always have a place in the team. Xabi Alonso has shown at the Club World Cup he doesn't really trust Rodrigo. Now, the reports lately have been coming out that Rodrigo looks like he might be staying and he wants to stay and he wants to fight for his place. But I feel like he's going to be fighting for his place up here on the left. I don't think he's trying to fight for his place here on the right and trying to win this position back. So it could be a factor of the right wing position is where Fede starts playing and Rodrigo is fighting Vinny for the left. Although I could be wrong. Rodrigo could play on this position. But I just feel like at the start of the season, at the beginning of the season, right now, this is the formation and the team we will be seeing. And the reason I don't really want to talk about a 4-4-2 separately is because a 4-4-2 is literally this. A 4-4-2 is just them dropping deeper. So Fede, instead of being more advanced in the wing position next to Mbappe, he's a bit deeper in the midfield position next to Camavinga. And Arda Guler, instead of being more central in the 4-3-3, he's just a bit more left. It doesn't really change that much. It's more or less the same system, 4-3-3 or 4-4-2. It's just their defensive positions are a bit more midfield, as opposed to their defensive positions in the 4-3-3, which is these three are midfield and this guy is an attack. But in terms of formation, that is the 3 or 2 maybe, if depending on how you look at the 4-3-3 and the 4-4-2, that I think Real Madrid will occupy while Jude Bellingham is out. The only real question is the missing player in the 11. Will it be filled by Edu Camavinga, who I think it will be? I think Camavinga is that guy who will be coming in. Or will it be filled with Eder Militao? I am leaning, like I said, towards Camavinga, but that's more of a fitness issue. But, but it is a very, very great position for Xabi Alonso to be in. The fact that he is not stuck with either Camavinga or Eder Militao is fantastic. When he's got the choice of both and he can adapt his system depending on who he wants or who is playing better or who he prefers, it's a much better position to be in overall for both him and Real Madrid. But anyway, I'm going to call the video there. Thanks for watching and peace.